All right, now I am pleased to introduce U.S. Senator Chris Coons. He served on the Appropriations, Foreign Relations, Judiciary, Small Business, Entrepreneurship, and Ethics Committees. Senator Coons has a background in science with an undergraduate degree in chemistry. Previously, he worked for W.L. Gore, a materials-based science company in Delaware. He himself is an avid citizen scientist and participates in many different projects on Zooniverse with his family. Welcome, Senator Coons.
Well, thank you, Jen, for that introduction, and thanks for a chance to be with you here today. This is exciting. I hope you've had a good and solid and productive day. Just the conversation of the last panel that I was able to take in makes me wish I could be here rather than there. No disrespect to the Capitol. But my thanks to Dr. John Holdren and to OSTP for hosting this forum, and to all of you for investing your time and your effort and your energy, your creativity and your inventiveness into this conversation. As was mentioned, I love participating in citizen science. I don't get as much of a chance to do as I would like. But whether it's counting steps and comparing notes with my wife over Fitbit versus iHealth, or it's Waze. I mean, how did I navigate traffic before Waze, which has data input only by passengers, not by drivers, let's remember, or the Zooniverse projects that my 14-year-old daughter and I have delighted in working on. These are the sorts of things that really only graduate students or lab assistants had gotten to participate in before, whether it's doing a live animal count in the Serengeti, or characterizing sunspots, or looking at cell slides to excite my teenagers and their three young minds and their interest in the whole undertaking of science. Zooniverse struck me as just a powerful window, and what we've just heard about patient empowerment, about citizen and advocate engagement, I think is hugely exciting. So not just this forum, but also the meeting this week of the National Council for Environmental Policy and Technology at EPA are a reminder of just how much is going on in crowdsourcing and in citizen science, which are key parts of the open innovation movement. And as you know, some federal agencies excel at utilizing open innovation, while others have been either hesitant or resistant to these approaches, in no small part because there is a lack of explicit legal authority and clear guidelines on how to use these tools. So that's a real missed opportunity, in my view, given the significant opening here we have through open innovation methods to tackle challenges that are just too big in scope and complexity to solve without the public's input and assistance. So fortunately, OSTP, with your input and work, has made great strides today with the release of the Federal Citizen Science and Crowdsourcing Toolkit, and agencies themselves are now recognizing that open innovation methods can aid them in a cost-effective way in fulfilling their mission-critical responsibilities, but there is still a role for that domed little structure on the Hill for those of us in Congress to play, to also help urge agencies forward and give them some legal authorization and framework. So that's why today I am introducing my bill, the Crowdsourcing and Citizen Science Act, which is the first ever bill introduced that provides explicit authority. It will clarify that executive branch agencies, commissions, and all military branches have the explicit authority to take advantage of and utilize citizen science projects and the resourcefulness and innovation capabilities of millions of Americans. It provides long-term certainty that these methods should be encouraged and utilized, which I think is complementary and consistent with the announcements by Dr. Holdren this morning. It does not require any new funding. And it provides guidelines on how to carry out these projects, making sure that volunteer participants know up front how their data will be used and what their expectations are around their participation. And it answers some unresolved key questions about data availability and access, technology and code access, data ownership, data publishing, data use. It sets up a process for resolving these. It does not answer all of them. It sets up a process. And it encourages agencies to design projects across agencies and in partnership with educational institutions, the private sector, local agencies, and communities, because many issues, from humanitarian relief to cybersecurity, don't fit neatly into one agency and require input from a wide variety of perspectives. So my hope is that this bill stimulates our federal government to use crowdsourcing and citizen science in just the same way that Prize Authority did. In 2010, as I think many of you may know, the America Competes legislation included for the first time explicit authority for the government to use prize competitions. And since then, over 400 prize competitions have taken place with federal backing. Given today's forum and a recent briefing that I hosted on the Hill about citizen science and crowdsourcing and the palpable interest in this room and across the federal government, I'm very encouraged by what I am confident is now possible. I am working very closely with a Republican senator who happens to be a scientist himself and who said on the floor 2 days ago, I think this is easy, absolutely, but let me work through my staff. And so we are eagerly awaiting a yes from a Republican co-sponsor. And I'd like to, before I sit down, take a moment and specifically thank my AAAS fellow, Ali Schweer, who really is the brains of the outfit on the pretty face, which tells you how bad a shape we're in. Thank you, Ali. I've seen the types of problems that the United States faces today in my 5 years as a senator, but I've also been inspired by the millions of smart and innovative and creative people we have in our country. I'm convinced that open innovation methods can bring people and challenges together in a way that hasn't been done so previously. And I think this is an opportunity the federal government is ready to seize. So thanks for having me. Events like this hosted by the White House can provide an amazing opportunity to bring together people from all different sectors and communities, disciplines and training across our country. And I think the reality today is that we face many challenging problems for which there are solutions, where the most likely answers will come from innovators and scientists across our country. So I'm thrilled to work with you to find the solutions to America's great challenges. Thanks.